Morning. Just give me a wee second, folks, I've got Facebook on board. And that's the update just that. Yep, that's Facebook on board. Good morning, folks. How are we all today? Just give a couple of minutes to make it up over the 50 mark and get the first Facebook comment in. Then we'll get this broadcast underway. And for those of you who watch base shows, just a wee update on the Food Bank Fund. I'll be sending out two £250 donations to Western Barton between tomorrow and Monday. The reason why I've dropped it from 3 each month to 2 is because we're now on the run up to Christmas, and as you know, folks, whatever's in the Two Davies bank account at Christmas goes to baby banks. So whatever's in there, no matter how much it is, will get split between 2, 3, 4 baby banks, depending on what is there. But what we're doing is we're dropping it down to 2 awards of £250 a month on the run up to Christmas, because people really are in need of the Christmas and New Year period. So, especially people with young children. So, as you know, Christmas exclusively with baby banks. All right. Now we're up to our 50 mark, and we have the first Facebooker in. Hi, Dougs. How are you this morning, mate? Let's have a look, see who's in. We've got a couple on for Facebook, actually. We've got Barbara. Morning, Barbara. Akis. Eddie Wolfie. Alistair. DJ. Mercy Moo. Mad Monk. Who else we got? Stephen Bankier. Gregor McIntosh. Welcome. Gillian. Good morning. Doug, we just said away. Hi, Janet. Hi, Melanie. First Facebooker in this morning. Good morning. Right, folks, we're getting there. We're climbing nicely. So this is Indie Truck Davey on the 26th of the 9th, 2024. Newspaper review. Okay, now first up, it's Indie Truck Davey out the truck in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is a bloody miserable morning. Chilly. And according to what I'm being told here on my computer, it's light rain and 9 degrees. As I say, bloody chilly. It is a damp, dull, drizzly morning out there this morning. That one's for our friends out with Scotland. So we'll do that again for you, will we? It's a dark, damp, drizzly morning this morning here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. So that's the weather for Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look at your own bloody windy. There you go. Right. First up this morning, the Financial Times. And the Financial Times goes on Israel ready to invade Lebanon. And this comes as Starmer tells the Associated Press and from the United Nations building in New York, that it looks as if there's going to be a war between Lebanon and Israel. Now, of course, Starmer and his Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, have demanded or asked for a de-escalation to step back for the diplomatic solution required. So, after that statement was made by Starmer, Israel's Strategic Affairs Minister, who was due to meet with David Lammy, phoned Lammy's office up and says, "Don't bother coming to see me." So it looks like the UK's stance is starting to change a wee bit on the Israel situation because of escalation. And there's a lot more to that, but and I am going to tell you a wee bit more about that this morning. There is a lot more to the reason why the UK is desperate for de-escalation in the Middle East, and that is because of the prospect of war in Europe. While the Financial Times and a lot of the other papers, when we get there, are telling us that the war in Lebanon is war between Israel and Lebanon is highly likely. Meanwhile, the Strategic Defence Review has come out through the House of Lords. And with that, I'm going to put this one up actually. This is in the Telegraph. And I don't normally put up articles. I'm not going to read the article. I'm just going to put it up so you can see it. Okay. Because this one goes back to something David and I were talking about a while back. So I'll stick this one up. And we'll get back onto the page. And the headline, civilians must be ready to fight because military is too small, warns Lords after Strategic Defence Review. As you know, folks, regular viewers will know that David and I covered the American review of the UK defence status. And what the American review told us was that the UK's military is outdated, too small, and in the event of the outbreak of war, there wouldn't be enough UK military to put a full battle group onto a battlefield. So what we've got here is the Lords and Sir General Saunders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame, who has just stepped in as Chief of Staff of the British military. He's telling us that civilians must think like soldiers and be on a war footing because the military has been cut so deeply since I left the military that actually the UK is totally dependent on reserve forces now, on territorial and active reservists. Thank you, Alistair. So, folks, the reason why Starmer and that are going so hard on Israel at this point in time is because there's real fear of a war breaking out in Europe. And as I say, the Lord's Strategic Defence Review tells us that we don't have a military capable of defending these islands, never mind going into a battle in Europe. Wow. Right, let's move on. The Telegraph also goes with Israel, boots ready to hit the ground in Lebanon. This comes as doddery old genocide Joe Biden tells ABC News Network in America, that's American Broadcasting Corporation, that full-blown war in the Middle East is imminent or likely. Wow. So, Genocide Joe has been encouraging the Israelis, as far as I'm concerned, by not putting his foot down on their neck. So, looks like they're mass murder, slaughter, meat grinder. Here we go again. Right, the eye goes with UK tells Netanyahu to step back from brink as Israel prepares for invasion. As I say, that's probably what happened. That's probably what led to Lamy being told get lost by the Israeli Strategic Defence Minister, Foreign Strategic Minister, sorry, and that's Ron Dinea, apparently. Anyway, so there's a great concern about the situation between Israel and Lebanon and the chances of that conflict escalating. If it does, Israel's right in trouble. Their economy's on its arse, their population's fleeing. There's only 7 million of them. 2 million of them are reported to be heading back to Europe and the United States. So 5 million are going to take on the whole of the Arab states. Now, what they're wanting is the UK and the Americans to put boots on the ground. Right, let's move on. We've got the Guardian. The Guardian runs with Israel warns of Lebanon offensive. As ceasefire calls grow. It also runs with Labour crackdown on non-dom tax status may not bring in any money, and the reason for that is because all these non-doms are fucked off. They were warned in advance what was happening. Money's been fleeing London like water going down a drain. So they're telling us that changing the non-dom tax situation might not bring any money because all the non-doms are fucked off. Right. The Times says UK leads efforts to avert Lebanon invasion as Israel readies troops. Now, the Times is an interesting one today because we've got two different front pages in Scotland and in England. So what I'll do is I'll put the English one up first, and then I'll put the Scottish one up. Sorry, I'll do it the other way around. I'll put the Scottish one up first, and then I'll put the English one up. So that's that one. So here in Scotland, the Times runs with UK leads efforts to avert Lebanon invasion as Israel readies troops, and Starmer loses winter fuel cut vote to unions. As we know, that vote was non-binding. But what's the Times in England go today? Let's have a look and see what the Times in England go today, shall we? The Times in England goes with this. Screen share. Aye, this is the English version of the Times, so we'll stick it up. And where in the Scottish paper at this section it says Starmer loses vote to unions, in England it says inmates to win points for shorter jail terms. So if you behave yourself in England going forward and you score points, basically get wee gold stars in your jota, then they'll shorten your sentence. Go to do something because the prisons are overloaded. Okay, so the Times Scotland and England run two different headlines today. It looks like the Times in England seems to be sheltering Starmer from the storm. Right. The fail leads on, the Daily Mail. Headlines the same in Scotland and in England. PM faces string of questions over use of Lord Ali's luxury London flat. And the headline is Starmer, the 18 million penthouse and the excuses that don't add up. Now, I've said this before, folks, that this feels very much like a Conservative Party. And Starmer seems to be as sleazy as Boris Johnson. But the question we've got to ask ourselves is, what is it that this fixer, sugar daddy for Starmer and his cabinet wants, this Lord Ali? And if you've seen Starmer's interviews on the press yesterday about his son being gifted the use of an £18 million penthouse to do his studies for his GCSEs, or whatever they're called, Starmer says, well, you know, if you'd have made an £18 million penthouse flat that offered it to your son to study, you'd take it. Wow. And then he asked the reporter, should I no help my son? Well, he tells us everybody else would do the same. No, once you're in public office, your big pal, your fixer and your sugar daddy, he should be at arm's length and not a fucking thing should come to him. But the question people are going to ask themselves is, what is it this Lord Ali wants? And do you know something? Lord Ali reminds me of Gollum, Dominic Cummings, Boris Johnson's fixer. The comparisons between these two governments, even the policies going forward. We'll be talking about that this afternoon in the Two Davies. You know, as Starmer actually brings back some of the last government's policies. Right, the other right-wing loony rag. The Express goes on. It's full-on revolt over winter fuel cuts. It says Starmer has lost support from his party, the trade unions, his MPs, and his paymasters. And that was an interesting one. His paymasters. I thought we were his fucking paymasters. I thought he worked for us. Well, according to the Loony Rag Express, he doesn't. And if we look at Sugar Daddy Ali, the fixer, You have got to ask. You have got to ask. You know? So, as I say, the question is, what is it this Harley wants? Because you, me, and everybody knows there's no such thing as a free fucking meal. If this sugar daddy is throwing sugar and candy over Starmer, his family, and his front bench, what is it he wants? Because there's no such thing as a free meal. Starmer's on this guy's leash. Right, let's move on. The National goes on. Labour's climate envoy linked to magic to mega donor. And this is the story that Labour appointed their climate envoy, Rachel Kite, who has links to hedge funds in the Cayman Islands, who have got shares in arms deals and fossil fuels. This person, who's now Labour's climate change envoy, donated £4 million, the biggest ever donation made to the Labour Party prior to the general election, and it was kept hushed up until after the general election. So see, this crew's been bought. The Labour Party has been bought. And as I listened to that conference and speeches with Starmer and Reeves, party of the workers, party of the workers, party of the workers. What about the poor, the sick, the disabled, the elderly, the unemployed, the children? No, they're not the party of any of these things. They're the party of the workers, because the workers pay taxes, apparently. Surely pensioners used to be workers. They've all paid taxes all their fucking lives. Surely they're workers. I'm very concerned about the situation of politics here. I really am. And that's the Labour Party. They're just another Tory party. And I can't say they're any softer to the right or any less to the right than the Conservative Party. I can't. And we'll get more into that this afternoon, the Two Davies, when we talk about the Tory policies that Labour are bringing back. We'll go into some of them. But the main one that I'm thinking about right now is the Snoopers Charter. And we'll get into that, I say, this afternoon. All right. Right, Murdoch's populist comic, The Sun has Maddie suspect, I did snatch child. And this apparently is a story that Christian Balka, or Bruckner, Christian Bruckner, he's confessed to his cellmate that he did snatch Madeleine McCann, apparently, and the cellmate's going to. The cellmate is going to testify in his court case. Right, and the Rancid Daily Record, the reason why the Mirror doesn't sell here, the Record's the left, supposedly the left of centre paper here. It also goes on the story, Madeleine McCann's story. Maddie suspect confesses to abducting Algarve girl. Algarve girl. Do you know mean girl in Algarve? She wasn't fae the Algarve. Wow, the quality of fucking journalism is absolutely atrocious. Right, the Scotsman has Middle East on brink as UK troops set to aid evacuation of UK nationals in Lebanon. Now, apparently there's 10 so-called UK subjects in Lebanon. Notice I use the term subject, because this is a monarchy. You're not a fucking citizen. You're a subject. Well, you're if you're in England. The crown means something different here in Scotland, but I'll leave that to historians to tell. Right, the Herald has Scots Labour MPs uneased at conversion therapy ban. Now, apparently, the new Labour MPs here in Scotland are not happy with the idea of banning the conversion therapy that churches and other organisations use to try and browbeat gay people into living a straight life. Nature's nature. What's up with these fuckers? This has got nothing to do with nurture. So conversion therapy doesn't work. You get gay, homosexual creatures In most species. This is nature, no nurture. And of course, go to put the star up. Go to put the star up as we round this one up. As I say, because the star, it always makes me smile. It really does. And I did have the Herald and the Scotsman to put up, but I just couldn't be arsed. So where's my star? Ah, here we go. Love the star. You've got to love the star. They're brilliant. Anyway, where is it? I can find it on my list. We've got it. Here we go, the star. What's the star vote for us today? The best comic rag in the UK. What's it go for us today? And the star has Darts legend denies biggest guff in history of British sport. And 140. And what's this all about? Shall we have a look and see? Apparently, darts champion, darts legend, somebody daily. I can't read the print now. Apparently, he farted during the championship here in the UK, and he's denying it. He says it was the Velcros on his trainers, and he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. Time to move on. We love this star. Huh? War, famine, fucking all sorts going on the planet, and the star's talking about a darts player farting. You just got to love the star. I love the star. You know, at the end of every news review, if the star's in the paper review, it's gone up because it keeps us all a smile. And the star, dank, gloomy world that we're living in. Now, the risk of all-out conflict in the Middle East, folks, and the prospect of war in Europe as we're being told. And of course, the fact that the Lords have just said that the UK Army is no, Navy and Air Force is no fit for purpose. You've got to wonder. So let me make this clear, folks. I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. If there is going to be, if it looks like conflict in Europe, there won't be one. Once Putin's backed into the corner, he will strike. And he will strike the obvious target. And I have made this clear strategically, it would be the right thing to do, rather than going into a third world war. What Putin will do is he will blow the UK straight off the face of the fucking earth. But that won't lead to escalation in a world war. That will lead to everybody stepping back and going, whoa, don't want that fucking happening to me next. And they'll all get round the table. And things will move on. Minus these islands. And us. It's time people like Lammy, Starmer, drew their fucking necks in. They're no world power. They're not even fit. The military's not even fit to put a battle battalion on any battlefield anywhere on the planet. According to the report of the Americans, all the equipment is outdated. Most of it's 30 years old. The only thing that's modern is their fucking pop guns. Whatever came after the AS-80. When I was in it, was a big heavy fucker called DSLR, self-loading rifle. But you know, so apparently it's dangerous out there, folks. Me, I don't give a fuck. I'm on the waning side of my life. The majority of my years are behind me. Naughty step, Joey. Don't be late. That's naughty. I'm on the downward slope. But if what they're saying about having to get the UK civilian population ready to fight, they'll be coming looking to guys like me to train them. And I'll be telling them to get to fuck. These bastards want to fight, they can tool themselves up and go and get themselves into the United Nations and slaughter each other in the fucking General Assembly. Leave the people out of it. Old men make war, young men die. I ain't fucking aiding or abetting in it. Done my share, thanks. That's all right, Julie. Just don't do it again. All right. The audience is starting to creep back up again, folks, for the Two Davies News Review, which is good because we used to get big figures when we was there on Facebook, and I'm hoping to attract that audience back. Now, we're on a drive to get 2,500 by Christmas. So we're only looking for 46 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please hit the like button because it helps the algorithm, helps us, and it also helps your advertising revenue, which goes towards the food banks, as you know. Once again, folks, I want to thank you for your generosity. I want to thank the moderators. I say, and if you like this news review, or like anything that we and the other Davey do, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share across your social media platforms. I say it all helps in raising funds for the food banks. Thank you, Regan Elite. I'm glad you could make it this morning. I really enjoyed your show last night, I have to say. And I'll be tuning in tonight to listen to you and One Angry Pagan. Although I have to, and I'm going to be honest with you here, young Regan Elite, because you're just so young and enthusiastic, it's nice to listen to, but a lot of you I don't agree with. But I still need to listen because I need to know what's coming up behind me. Because it's my generation's turning in the chair, and it looks like we're going to make as big a cunt here as the previous generation. So I like to know what's coming behind me. See if they're going to do any better. Right, guys. We'll see you this afternoon at 4 o'clock where Dave and I will be discussing other issues. So when I get out of here, I've got a few things lined up that I need to get looked at, and I need to get the script written. I need to contact David, and we need to get through it so that he knows the topics we're going to be talking about, because at this point in time, I'm not letting David help me write the Two Davies show because he needs to concentrate on his recuperation and getting well. Okay, look after yourselves, folks. Look after each other. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 10:30 to do it all again. Have a nice day. Oh, sorry, I'll also be here at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Have a nice day. Bye for now.